Welcome back to the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. My name is Kirsten Foss, and today I have a guest with us to talk more about spa business. And in particular, I want to talk about some financial tools, one financial tool to help you attract and retain your staff members if you have a team or you've been thinking about having a team. So I would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Jane Handforth. I've known Jane for probably about 7 years now. Jane has been a hairstylist for over 25 years, right?
Yeah.
And during COVID, she decided to do her own pivot out of hairstyling into the financial sector because she saw some opportunities from being in the beauty industry that spa and salon owners, might not have thought about, and decided to shift gears and to serve in a different way. So Jane, thank you so much for being with me today and talking about spa business from a different perspective than I normally talk about it. Welcome.
Thank you, Kirsten. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So now let's I want to talk you've the topic today is like one financial tool specifically to grow and retain your team. And that tool is insurance. And a lot of times when we're talking about team benefits, when we want to grow a team or we have a team and we're trying to add value to our team, it's a part of a conversation that I know a lot of us as spa owners are like, I don't know. And we're afraid to go and talk to somebody because we don't want to hard sell on something we don't really know a lot about anyways. So I think for the most part in the spa industry, I would say that businesses don't offer health benefits. So let's talk about that. So Jane, what would you say, like in your perspective, from being in the beauty industry and now in the financial sector of this, what would you say has been the usual options for spas when it comes to medical and dental and health benefits?
Yeah, for sure. So traditionally, you would go to an insurance company and they would offer you a premium-based plan. So it's like regular insurance. The trouble is regular insurance is not really geared for this sort of thing. Like it's geared for unforeseen things that might happen, whereas health and dental does happen.
Right.
So traditionally it's called a premium-based plan. So instead of paying for the actual cost of health and dental expenses, plan sponsor, the spa, cover these expenses by paying a premium set by their benefits provider. So it's generally beyond the reach of most spa owners due to the high cost of insurance, plus the fact that it will increase every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I should also mention that Jane and I both live in Canada, so she's specifically talking about these kinds of benefits and insurance for Canadian businesses. However, it's the same thing has been happening in the spa and probably for the longer, and in terms of what's being offered and what kind of some other options are. However, so we're talking about Canada stuff right today. But those of you that live in the US, please know that you have similar options happening in the States.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. All three options we're going to talk about today are also offered in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that it's, when I've worked with a lot of spa owners, particularly putting together or walking them through their team handbook or building their team handbook. And this is kind of one of those places where they would love to be able to offer their team benefits, especially right now because the employee landscape, it's really, really tough right now as far as hiring, just hiring aligned team members, but retaining them right now is equally as hard. We have to have really competitive wages. We need to have really strong team culture. We as the owners have to be on point with our what we're offering our team members, but not to the extent where, like, if you can't afford these traditional types of benefit plans, like the option is just not to have the benefit plans and do kind of kind of fudging it a little bit in different ways, like maybe offering gym memberships or offering, other ways to support their team, kind of mental health, physical health that isn't actual dental and medical. So what is it like on your end too, as kind of the financial end? Is there anything more that you want to speak to as far as like the traditional way, as far as why it doesn't work for spas?
Yeah, the thing about the traditional way is you have uncontrolled costs, and no business likes that, right?
Yeah.
So the premium-based plans are the most unpredictable when it comes to estimating costs for the upcoming year. If you just signed up, they're going to offer you a steep discount just to lure you in and get your business. However, insurance companies, they can't offer discounts forever. So the second year of your plan, you can expect the insurer to recoup their costs and
Okay.
get their profitable position. And as a result, your premiums are going to go up.
Okay.
So the main thing to note is that regardless of the claims of the year, the plan sponsor will pay the full amount. Additionally, if only one plan member is a high claims and joins your plan, your premiums can skyrocket. Like we're talking at least 29% and up is not
Wow.
right?
Oh,
It's like
wow.
so unpredictable.
Ouch,
So,
ouch, ouch.
yeah. And they also calculate the premiums based on the cost of reimbursing the claims for the entire group. So if one member has high healthcare costs, it's going to mean higher premiums for everybody.
Yeah, and that's definitely one thing I teach my clients in terms of like cash flow and cash flow forecasting and budgeting and all the thing. The more fixed expenses you have, the better. You want and that's why I dislike commission, because it's a variable expense. You never know what your labor costs are going to be, and that's really tough when you're already a struggling spa owner. So I love this, that you're going to get into sharing an option that has more fixed costs. So let's get into some of these options, because when you and I connected, yes, about a month and a half ago about this topic, I had no idea that this was actually an option. And I was so thankful that you wanted to share it, because I always thought, and I think a lot of spa owners thought, it's either these full benefit plans or it's nothing. So please, let's chat about what this different option is.
Okay, so there are actually two options. So first, we're going to talk about claims-based plans. Then these are for spas that are incorporated and have 5+ employees. And then we're going to talk about cost-based plans, and that's for spas with 2+ employees. So it could be yourself and your employee. So first, we'll talk about claims-based plans. So they provide similar coverage to the premium-based plan, what we just talked about, making sure there are caps on each category. And that way, if every member on the plan maxed out their benefits and their claims as much as possible, the total you could pay in the year is the sum of those category limits plus an average of an 18% admin fee. That's it.
Okay.
So the advantages of this model, it's transparent. You can budget for it. And, in the second year, the third year, your costs are going to be exactly where you set them.
Okay.
Now, your costs will depend on how much your team claims, but at least you can track where your money is going, which we know is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, with a fully transparent cost structure, the claims plus admin fee, you can make informed decisions about your plan. Now, by working with an experienced provider, you can create categories and limits to ensure that your costs won't surpass a certain amount.
So Jane, can you talk a little bit, what is like the different categories and limits? Like, what does that look like? What would be the different categories?
The different categories would just be what you were going to spend it on. Like if you would have limits on how much they could get for dental and how much they could get for eyeglasses.
Okay.
Very straightforward. Yeah. So, it allows you to know the maximum cost for your budget. And then you're going to be pleasantly surprised when the actual claims come in, because it's very rare for everybody to max everything out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the plan that I'm really excited about, because I was a very small business, is the health spending account, also known as the cost-based plan.
Yes,
So,
this was the one where I was like, say
yeah.
what?
Yeah. So the cost-based plan, it gives you total control over your costs. So you set the budget, so your costs are entirely up to you. So this gives you total flexibility in the terms of how you manage your plan, but it also requires you to be firm in your decision making. Now, with this type of plan, you can adjust your benefits based on your budget, which can be especially helpful nowadays if, we're all facing financial constraints, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So cost-based plans, like I said, they're commonly known as health spending accounts, and they provide the ultimate in cost control. So the spa owner, you set your budget and you make contributions to each plan member's HSA. And no matter how much or how little they claim, you're in control.
Okay.
So the best part is your team gets to decide where they want to spend their compensation, and your costs are set in stone. So they can use it for eye exams, glasses, dentist, massage. Anything that you can write off as a tax write-off is eligible.
Okay. Okay.
So what does this cost your spa? It's your contribution plus an average 10% admin fee.
Okay.
I can't speak for all companies, but for our company, it's a 10% admin fee.
Okay.
And totally tax deductible.
Okay. Okay.
And after 2 years, the funds that are not used can be refunded to your business. Or if you are incorporated with 5+ employees, you can set up a group RRSP and use those funds to fund the RSP, get it started.
Right.
And I'm not sure in the States, but you should be able to set up a group for 401k.
Okay. Okay.
So the members have access to an easy to use claims process. And with our company, the claims are paid out in 3 to 5 business days. So they pay up front, make a claim, they get reimbursed.
Okay.
Simple, cost
Sounds easy
effective.
enough.
Yeah, simple,
Well, I
cost
know, like,
effective,
yeah,
great way.
with my husband's benefits, he works for the provincial government, and like some places will do that auto billing, and there's still plenty of places that you still have to submit your receipts anyways. So that's easy peasy.
Yeah, and since it comes back so quickly, it's not like you're out of pocket. And I think the beauty of these things is it just makes your whole workplace a happier place.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just going to make your clients feel so much better, because if people aren't stressed, like, oh, I've got a dental appointment coming up, where am I going to find that
Yeah.
money? They
Yeah.
know they can just, put it on their credit card, get it back in 3 to 5 days, pay back their credit card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it's the flexibility on that kind of program is amazing, especially for a smaller business. And especially if you haven't been, haven't wanted to or been able to dive into kind of that traditional benefits route, is, to have something that's a little bit more flexible, that still is a deduction for your business that you can write off, but has that flexibility. I love it. So, so the spa owner can decide kind of which categories, or is it kind of like an open kind of category thing that the money is the money and they can use it for whatever category that's approved for that?
That's exactly it. The money is the money. It's like having a bank account that you can use for health spending.
Hey, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that you reached out to me to share this information, because like there's so many deep dives you can do into entrepreneurship, and especially when you start niching into like specifically salon or spa entrepreneurship. It's like the insurance industry has kind of has a bit of a bad rap. And so it's not usually the first place people go looking for information. And if you are presented with the information, sometimes you don't know if you're getting it from a company that, like you said, they're quite rigid, and there's a means to the end in terms of giving a little discount, and then you get jacked up prices after that. That's pretty rough to handle for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a wonderful, wonderful way to ensure that your workforce is covered. And
Yeah.
I think as a business owner, it's important that you treat your employees like family.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I know that a lot of spa owners want to do that. Like it's truly in their heart. Like I hear them when they come to me for discovery calls and they're thinking about building a team. It's so important for their team to love to be at work and to be part of this vision. And yet Jane, you and I know, being in the industry for a long time, that that kind of situation doesn't always end up being the end result, because of there's like lots of stressors opening a spa and recruiting and hiring, and then stressors keeping your team. But if we can add, another way to stand out amongst your competition who may not have a type of benefits program, um, a way to support your team members while you're working together. You're right. It absolutely adds to that supportive team culture. And for on my end, when I'm coaching clients to build a team, one of the big pieces is for them to have a compensation model that's based on performance. So it's based on how booked they are, how much retail sales they do, how they're pre-booking, all of those things. And so this is one of those trade-offs. Like, you can ask for a higher level of performance from team members when you're able to offer a really awesome team culture and team support. And having a benefits program is it's not the thing that is going to keep people,
No.
but it is one of the things that supports that team culture, and team success ultimately is kind of what we're looking for.
Yeah, it's a very cool tool. I'm so glad that you were open to hearing about it, because as you say, people are shy of financial advice and wary of it because a lot of it has been really hard sell.
Mm.
The beauty of the company where I work at is we are educators, and if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't fit, that's okay.
And Jane, I know you've been an educator in the beauty industry for decades. Like,
Yeah.
as a hairstylist, you were a Kiyun educator. So I know you have tons and tons of experience in the beauty industry, just as far as educating. So I already know that you take education really seriously, and you're not a hard sell kind of person. Like,
No.
that's just not your thing. And I couldn't see you ever working in any kind of culture that had that. So if people, so as far as Canadian spa owners, if they wanted to get in touch with you to talk a little bit more about this particular type of benefits program, how would you like them to get in touch with you?
They could email me
Okay.
at jhandforth@experiafinancial.ca,
Awesome.
or phone me 778-884-6881.
Okay, awesome. And I will put that information in the show notes of the podcast so that those listening can reach out to you. Now, again, this is Jane works with Canadian businesses, but she has said that in the States, you guys have these same kinds of programs, and to reach out to your insurance and financial provider, see where they can steer you in the right direction for that. All right, that's it for today for our Spa Business Mastery podcast. A little bit of short and sweet info, a little tool for you to help with your team retention, and their health and your health, mental health, physical health, all of it. We got to be healthy in order to be able to serve in our communities for an extended period of time. That's just really what the bottom line is. So thanks for joining me, Jane. I much appreciate it.
Thanks, Kirsten.